Read the disclaimer. Hello everyone, and welcome to the Weekend Review, where we recap the previous week and anything extra. Apologies for the slight little delay there, mostly just because of the fact, just a little bit of internet connection stuff I was trying to fix up. It was a little bit strange, but we got a pretty good Weekend Review to go over. Obviously, I didn't do the video on this stuff. Now, usually, you'll see me do videos anytime they actually release any snippet of news, but I feel like because I already did the part breakdown and they didn't show anything too crazy, you know, I kind of held off. But probably for Rhino, you will see me do a video on it. But let's first do the week recap, and then we'll go from there. So actually, this was a pretty decent week for stuff. I am kind of transitioning now to a lot more heavy Beyblade X content, mostly because of the fact that, you know, it's the new generation and all that stuff, so see a lot more of these combo stuff, a lot more of these battle stuff. You know, you will still see Beyblade Burst content here and there, even Metal Fight Beyblade, but it'll depend, because I don't want to, I don't know, you know, it's got to make sense, right? But yeah, like the entire week, dude, you don't got to hear me say it. It's been all Beyblade X. Viper Tail content, a lot of Leon Claw content. Episode reviews there that we did, episode 3, and Saturday we did like the whole combo challenge thing, which the next one is Dagger. So if you want to enter in your combinations and get that in, feel free to. Okay, there you go, perfect. Okay, store plug. See, I always got to transition into that. Mallbase.com. It helps keeps the channel going, helps with equipment stuff, general funding for stuff, and if you're able to check it out, greatly appreciated. If not, liking, subscribing also works out. We have a lot of BX, like that big 17 set, so did a little bit of an adjustment, even though it hurts to import this stuff, and it is a pretty good deal currently with 2 grips on it, so you can check that out. There's some of the launcher grip stuff, whatever, and less than a week now, which may or may not get extended, but Beyblade Burst is 15% off automatically on checkout also, so now you can check that stuff out. In the meantime, we got a bunch of other topics to talk about. We're going to do the main stuff. We'll focus on the Xanime a little bit after, but, you know, I figured we got to throw in the little promo of the stuff. But let's go over the big stuff here, which is the DRANDAGGER, HELLSCHAIN, all that stuff. They did drop a video on it, as we can see here, and I need to adjust myself in my position. This is releasing November. It's pretty nuts, by the way. November 2nd, eh? So many releases are coming out. 3 different new blades. It's a very, like, it's fine for me, whatever, because that means that there's new content to do, but, you know, it is a little bit nuts, but the BX20 DRANDAGGER sets on there, and then the HELLSCHAIN one. So we'll go over kind of each of them. So, you know, basically the DRANDAGGER one is almost kind of pure, kind of like attack setup stuff, kind of, or mostly attack versus attack. The Shark looks fine, IRL. You know, the videos, they always kind of, I don't know, lighting makes them look sometimes a little bit weird. The DRANDAGGER, you know, I think it looks pretty nice. I do like a little bit different change in the colors. I think that's a really cool thing that they're doing with these variants. And then after Night Shield's purple with that 580 taper, that is pretty sick. So there's the HELLSCHAIN one. So I will say, I don't know, I think color-wise, I feel like I like HELLSCHAIN's colors a little bit more than the DRANDAGGER one, except maybe for like the bottom part, because I kind of like a little bit more of this kind of magenta-ish red that they're going for. That Night Lance, you know what I think when I see the Night Lance? I just think, man, what a singular. I think it's in general for some of these recolors. I think for these recolors for the set, they had like a singular color and they just ran with it. It would have been nice, a little bit more purple. Wizard Arrow, you know, maybe like some blue or something. You know, that just would have been like a little bit nice just to see. I'm in the void right now. Oh no. You know, it's kind of whatever for these recolors, but we got some of the other stuff. So DRANDAGGER a little bit closer. Dagger is where I'm still kind of on the fence on, because I don't know where is it going to be. Is it going to be way better than Drawn Sword? Is it going to be better than... Is it going to be kind of maybe similar to Knight Lance? Which I think, my bold prediction, right? This might have similar use to Knight Lance, maybe? Where this could be where it can basically bully an attack versus attack, and maybe you can just do fairly well there. Or maybe it's somehow like really, really good. I don't know. That shape is not really like it's holding like insane confidence, but I don't know. Even stuff like Viper Tail has some use, which, you know, we do finally have the testings out on the other channel for. Viper Tail, we recorded the first session. The attack stuff I wasn't too pleased on, so we did another session on attack. And then after, we lost the files because the thing got randomly formatted. And then after, from there, we just redid the whole thing. And I just did the main ones that it was actually good at to demonstrate. So, yeah, if you want to see me and my mom basically just go over the Bay testings and all that stuff, you can see that torturing on the other channel. Yeah, but you know what? I honestly, like, for green recolors, it's always so difficult for me because... Green, I feel, because it's such a hard... I feel like there's only certain shades of green where I kind of look at that I kind of like. But you want to know what I like for the base? I'll let this one slide. You want to know what? I think that a bad case of green, to be honest, I think it's that Knight Shield green. I think it's on, like, the gear bits. I think that one I don't like too much. But, you know, like the Shark for a green recolor, you know, we'll give them credit. We'll give them credit. The Shield one also looks pretty nice, but I do wish just multiple colors. And then actually, listen... The fact that they're already giving us, like, Shark Edge as a reprint so early on, it's almost like, when have we ever had an example where a reprint has been so early after, like, a random booster debut? It's extremely rare if it's ever happened, so this is, like, a very good move. The 380... I don't know, because I've looked at the Knight Shield 380, and I'm like... I don't know, maybe, you all know what, maybe I gotta take another look, because I swear to God, that 380 and that other 380 on Knight Shield is eerily close. I like the flat color, though. I like the little, like, green, kind of limeish. That looks pretty nice. After that, listen, the purple on this is very pleasing. I do love purple, listen. I do like purple. I also do like that they reprinted 580. I would have liked, and maybe I'm pushing it, but I would have liked if maybe... they gave an orb on, like, the other sets, you know what I mean? Because then after, it'd be like, Viper Tail parts already get reprinted right away. But, you know, I'll take what I can get. I still think 560 and 580 being reprinted also pretty early is neat. And there's also an argument, I'm in the void again, there's also an argument to be had on the idea of, you know, ratchet diversity, because right now we don't have... It's not really like anything's really diverse. Like, we'll maybe get a 50 height. We'll maybe get, I don't know, we'll get like maybe the 90 eventually. But, you know, more or less all the ratchets are kind of the same. We're going to get like heights inside. So I'm curious, because right now, you know, this is season 1. So I'm kind of curious, when do we start seeing variants, like true variants of ratchets? Because you can easily do it, but... maybe they're still trying to figure out the design of it, because I can't imagine X is going to keep the exact same ratchet formula in a year or two. Potentially. But, yeah. Now, the 460, now listen, everybody knows I got beef for, I think 460 shit, man. Well, actually, they give credit to 460. At least 460 is at a low height, so you have a use for it index. So it's not like 460 is terrible. It's just 4 size really just bursts quite a bit. But if it's tight or whatever, I don't really care. I mean, listen, the color-wise, listen, if we're talking color-wise, this thing looks beautiful. Visually, I think X is really developing their kind of identity in this generation. The first few ones, you can kind of feel they're kind of testing, but like you can see, as we keep on progressing, the molding on the stuff, everything looks really a lot better. Rush, I also think, is a big W by Takara Tomy, because... they are, which I thought kind of early, but also I thought we're not really getting too much bit diversity for kind of what they're doing, so Rush is really, really cool. What Rush basically is that they change the gear ratio on there. So I'm not like this physics or science expert, right? I don't have an explanation on like the specifics. But basically what I've noticed in the video is that it can more consistently get an extreme line. So this is like, the idea with Rush should be you keep on getting an extreme finish, or you keep on going through that proper line of the thing, which I think is really, really cool. You also notice it's a little bit smaller than the actual flat. I don't think this was just because they had to change the ratio on the thing. I think this was probably on purpose. Maybe for some future bit where it's even more faster or something. It seems pretty controlled and fine. I think this is going to be like a really freaking solid bit. This might be at the top for attack. This is actually like a very smart design. I do think, however, and I will do a small rant, the naming convention I still don't like, because early X, which me and my dad really loved this, was the idea that it was like metal fights. It was like basic, okay, this is a needle. Okay, that makes sense. It's a ball. Even orb, okay, orb you let slide, because orb is basically like, okay, whatever, tiny ball thing, right? And then after they just throw in rush, I think this should have been called Extreme Flat. You want to know why? Because it gets the extreme line very easily. XF would have been like, that's marketing. That's marketing right there. Bruh, am I wrong? That's marketing right there for a namesake. Because first of all, R could have just been used for like rubber flats or something, you know. So that's whatever. The naming doesn't matter at all. Listen, it's just personal thoughts, but yeah, listen, I've seen the video. Yo, it goes perfect on that line. So I think the performance will definitely be there. I think the blade is still questionable, but I think the blade will probably be a mix on maybe something similar, like drawn sword performance, maybe not as good, but also it might be like attack stamina-ish or something. I don't know. But yeah, listen, I will admit, though, X Bay still kind of throw me off this generation just because of how they're like tall. Like, it's so goofy because of how it kind of extends up there, but yeah, it looks nice, looks nice. Then they just show some other examples. Is Drawn Dagger, obviously they can't show Drawn Dagger losing, but is Drawn Dagger going to be peak? You know, that's going to be a little bit hard to tell. That's going to be a little bit hard to tell. Oh, let's see this. I can give an explanation on Rush if needed. Well, if you want to, feel free to, because I don't have these answers. Those are one of the few things. But yeah, I think this is a solid set. This is a solid 3-on-3 set. If you're really like an attack person, like you get Shark, Shield is really good because Shield is pretty good in attack versus attack. You already basically got a meta combo right on it, so I think this is a good one. Solid by TAT. Hell's Chain, I don't think a lot of people talk about Hell's Chain. Hell's Chain's a lot thicker than I realized actually looking at it. Just, because in the renders, I don't know, it looked like paper thin almost, and I was like, I don't know about this one. Yeah, but when you look at it, like it's pretty thick. And also, this is the Frosted Flakes Wizard Arrow. You know, the little tiger thing. I don't know what you call the mascot. That's the Frosted, because like, it's so bright orange when I see it, but I got questions. How many of these Wizard Arrows are we going to get? Because honest to God, like at this point, every single one of Multi's base should just get the entire rainbow color scheme. We might as well, right? You want to know what? You might as well. I think Night Lance is also there too, isn't it? Yeah. The Night Lance, I know what they're trying to do. I think they're trying to give it like the wizard colors almost, but you know what the issue is? It's like I don't know. Maybe in hand this looks a little bit better. I think they should have just had purple on the little gear bit thing. That's what I think they should have done. You know, it's just a little too much purple. A little too much purple. Now, look at it. Look how thick that thing is. And if you see next to Night Lance, like, I honestly think, I think actually, you want to know what? I think Hell's Chain's going to be really freaking good. I think the gap, anytime there's a gap, it means it was for a reason. It was for a reason. Like, Viper Tail has a gap, but if you think about it, Viper Tail's pretty good for attack, generally. So the gap kind of makes sense. Like, even Night Lance, like, it works pretty well in attack versus attack stuff, and it's got, like, this pretty good use. So sometimes the gap's not maybe the gap was a smart idea balancing. So if you look, by the way, the height of the blade is basically where, if you have this on a lower height, it's meant for attack for how the chains hit. But you have it on a taller height, the taller chain's supposed to, like, you know, do the work there. So it works either way for attack or defense. So what's really cool about this, a similar philosophy to Lay on Claw, where you want to know what? I want to be honest, there's no offense to Metal Fight, but like, can you really tell me a Metal Fight release that kind of has the same idea for type, like, balance? And this actually feels like real thought to balance. And I think what's the benefit of burst going on for so long is that X is really like, kind of has the design, like, philosophy of how they design burst bays almost, because, like, metal, you know, you had, like, dark and poison that were kind of just a similar idea of just multi-bladed stuff. Like, what else is there for Metal Fight that's really, like, balanced that you can really name? That's, like, that feels like true balance for design, you know what I mean? Like, honest to God, credit to Karatomi. I actually think really good. Now, the lenses, I think this will look a little bit better IRL. I think just very weird lighting in the room. The low flat's such a benefit, man. Low flat actually, you know, low flat is a little bit slandered. That kind of valid because, you know, it does have kind of the least amount of stamina compared to any bit for X you want to use for attack because it goes so fast. But the benefit of low height and fast and strength, I think the trade-off there is really good. This one is literally just the super deck combo, but they just made it taller. And everyone's pointing this out, but I also want to say, but you know, not too bad, man. Hey, man, not too bad, not too bad. The 560, I do think they gave it the original colors of the Hell Scythe 460, but you know, I would have liked if they had a little bit more of the magenta. The high taper, listen, taper's already good. High, I don't need testings for this. Well, I'll still do it, obviously, but high taper is going to be good. Taper is pretty much this kind of mix of almost this ball cone shape and kind of like a flat, yeah, basically a semi-flat. This looks like I think it's the same idea of high needle, like maybe a little bit squished, a little bit wider. This should be pretty much good. Dude, this is like, this looks like, look, you can basically see a little side-by-side here. Yeah, it looks very girthy. I don't know if that's the right adjective to use there, but dude, just look at it. Just bulky, dude. Yeah, very, very interesting, honestly. I'm okay also with the high taper thing. Like, I expected them to either do high flat or low taper, so I'm okay with it. Just whenever we get the next drawn, Hell, Knight, Wizard, just, no, actually, well, Wizard hasn't gotten one yet, so if we get like another one, you know what I mean, maybe something new. Yeah, but they basically kind of show it just with the idea concept of the metal kind of height there, but yeah, I think this should be fun. I'm trying to think, so if you're like a stock person, where it's like you only do the stock combos, the original combos they release with. You know, honestly, I think this can work out. If you're trying to do this for pure defense, you flat launch. If you're trying to use this for attack, you just tilt it. So if you're like a stock person, I don't know, this should work fine. Yeah, they basically show the example of contact if it stands like normal. And then after, yeah, and then after like the lower blade, whatever, makes that contact, that idea. And then after they basically kind of just show it off in the battle. Now, what's more interesting, do I have the picture? Yeah, look at this. They had Rhino Horn. Look at that little guy. What's it doing? What's it doing there? Rhino Horn's there. But yeah, before we talk about Rhino Horn, my thoughts, I think HELLSCHAIN is going to, I think it might get annoying for maybe some things, but I think it might, I think they might be pretty good. DRANDAGGER, I think the bit, yes, the blade, not too sure. I think at best, DRANDAGGER can maybe be good for like attack versus attack, but maybe attack versus stamina, maybe no, but we'll see. God help me, because I have to do 3 different bays. It's almost like 3 hours worth of testing. Well, the testing channel takes a lot out of me, because don't forget also, when I'm doing the testing channel, I am actually editing the dead space in between rounds. I don't have to do that, but I do that for the viewer's sake. Because, I don't know, it just feels proper that way. But listen, we got a little Rhino Horn. I didn't want to zoom in too much because it get a little pixelated, but it's looking chunky. I actually think, and I will be saying this next week, I actually think, dude, I think Rhino might be the underdog this month. I actually think, look at how thick it is, dude. It's a thick freaking blade. There's no way this thing is going to be, like, this has to be high-end. This has to be, like, 33, 34 at bare minimum. Bruh, unless this thing is hollowed, I don't know, man. I'm actually pretty excited for Rhino Horn. I think Rhino Horn does look actually really, really cool. the bit, you know, we're going to find out next week, and I'll have a better impression next week. Because even though, by the way, even though they kind of rig these battles, obviously because they have to, because it's a new release, and they're the company, right? I still think there are some things that you can get an idea of in those videos. Okay, so we will take some things to the... Actually, hold on. Before we talk about the Xanime, right, kind of give my updated thoughts, we're gonna leave it here. We're gonna do a little bit of a little reading of the chat, kind of read the thoughts and everything, because that was the void. Okay, listen. It was the void. It was this thing right here. It almost killed me, huh? Okay, but we'll try to read some of the chat stuff on there. I think that high taper should have more LAD. Well, an X is kind of weird because you don't really have LAD. It's more just aggressive rolling at the end. I'm really excited for both of them. All right. I think Chain's going to be better than the Dagger Blade. Yeah, that's fair enough. I would also probably agree with that. That's my guess. And just to test Rhino Horn. I also think, yeah, I think Rhino Horn's going to be pretty spicy. Hey, try Night Lance 460 flat. I will do you one better. Waits over a week, and you basically get that same combo on the 3-on-3 sets. There you go. I want to test Chain on Rush. That'd be pretty cool. Rhino Horn makes me think of the Pokemon Rhyhorn. Okay, yeah, I guess fair enough, eh? Fair enough. I was just reading that. I don't know this, but I think DRANDAGGER has so many contact points, it'd be able... I think that DRANDAGGER has so many contact points because it'd be able to... Yeah, so maybe, like, the idea of Barrage Attack, which is what the gimmick is, I don't think Barrage Attack is ever really a thing that exists. Like, it's more just if something has a really good shape and never works out. Like, Lightning Eldrago just has a good shape. Blitz, when it's in the Barrage mode, is not good. So, yeah. How can I get to the Beyblade X app outside of Japan? If you're on Apple, you make a Japanese account. If you're on Android, you do whatever the equivalent of that is. If you're trying to get the Beyblade X app. The purple Night Shield looks like Perseus with no paint. Well, no, Perseus you need like a lot more black and purple to get a little bit closer. I think the whole thing with Rhino is... Well, yeah, Rhino Horn, the idea is it's supposed to be compact defense. So we'll see if that works out. What deck do you think will be better? I think they're balanced. I think, technically speaking, DRANDAGGER should have more value if you value more of, like, the attack stuff, but I think HELLSCHAIN might have more just for the blade's sake. But I'll say DRANDAGGER if you really like attack, but I think probably Chain for maybe a lot more of those stamina-type builds and that type of stuff if you like that. Why do you think Chain would be better than DRANDAGGER? Mostly because of shape, and obviously we'll wait and see. I'm mostly talking on Blade. Stock, I don't know, but Blade. Are the subs by Dronzer? Oh, sorry, I think the whole point of the blur was for that. Sorry. Are the subs by and Extreme Scan two different... Okay, this is... Okay, Extreme Scan's Lations is me, Kyo, and Sky Shu working together to do the manga stuff. The other one with the subs, that's a team... I forget the name because I'm not good with remembering names like that. That's like Hoshi Yumi? They did the Beyblade Burst God and so much subbing work. It's a fantastic team that's working on it. It's two different people. I think I'm only there for like proofreading and whatever, but... Yeah, two different people, but they are working very hard to do their best. It does take time to do a lot of the subbing work, even just scanslation work. Yeah, okay, so next up, we're going to talk about the Xanime to kind of shift gears a little bit and change topics, and then after I'll give a little bit of the IRL updates. Okay, the Beyblade X Anime, which this might be saved for another ZANKYE also, but I want to see maybe more episodes. Listen, my thoughts on the anime has been pretty consistent so far. I think what I'm liking about the anime is pretty much the additional content that they're adding, right? Like, the anime I think was doing good, is when they're adding new content that adds more context to the story. And this was something I think I talked with Nizuma on one of his streams about, where it's the idea of the manga has limited pages, so the anime can have this purpose where it can extend episodes from when they're basing it off of the chapters to have more content to help out the characters. So that's something I think the anime is doing really, really well, and I hope they stay on that track. Aside from that, like, I still think again, you know, the circumstances with the anime is pretty rough, because obviously, I'm pretty sure it's the team that did, like, Quad Strike and DB. Someone can correct me if I'm wrong, if they have, like, the animation notes that are working on X, so it's a very rough transition, and animation industry in Japan is already, like, it's a very, very, like, tough industry to work in, so, you know, there's a lot of production hell, but, you know, either way, I think the anime still needs to work a lot on its visual presentation. I'm not talking about, like, heavy, you know, this crazy, insane 10 out of 10. I don't know, think of something that's really well animated, like, with consistent art animation, like on that level, because Beyblade is obviously something that they have to keep on doing, like, seasonal, like, they do it from here, a year, there, a year, there, a year, right? So, it's a little bit difficult, but... You know, I just wish, you know, in some aspects, hopefully they can improve. But the issue is that the time gap is still, like, that's what's annoying me. Hopefully next week we maybe see a little bit better pacing and all that stuff. Because after, I don't know. This is actually a good question for the chat. You know, what episode do you think it's a good amount to judge, like, a full, like, a good idea of how the season is going? Like, should I be waiting until episode 10? Like, when do we get to the point where you can just see how it's going, and you can say, I don't think it's going to be going too well? Like, is it, because it's 51 episodes, but I feel like after you get, like, at least through, like, a couple, like, maybe even, like, 5, I think by 6 or something, if you don't say too much, I don't know, maybe 6 is pushing it, maybe 10? I don't know. That, because I'm waiting on doing a video, because I don't want to just keep on saying... in these reviews, you know, what's going on with the presentation. So, I want to be fair, right? I want to be fair. So, okay, a lot of people are saying 5. We're saying the 5 episode rule here, 6. Yeah, okay, 5, 6. Okay, so that's kind of my idea. I hope, listen, I think a lot of people think, I don't want the anime to be bad. I just, when I'm watching it, I'm like, is that the quality we're at? Damn. You know, and again, you know, the thing is that I always say this, it's like, you can understand, like, factors that influence a production of something, but whatever the product is, you have to judge it how it is. So, yeah, 6, 7. Okay, so probably by the time we get to around Zuganic, then we'll probably go. 10 is crazy. Damn, I was just trying to give them a fair shot. I thought 10 maybe made sense or something. Damn, okay, fair enough then. I thought I was being a little charitable. Damn. Okay, well, let's go over some other updates anyways for the channel. November is going to be... Some parts of November is going to be pretty good. Actually, I should actually get this out of the way now, because that's going to really mess me up when that day comes, but... Okay, for November stuff... Dude, the week after my break is done, we're getting straight into the new releases next week. That's going to be pretty awesome. Yeah, it's going to really suck these next few weeks. November 26th, I want to say this now, and I'll probably keep on doing a mention of the thing. The reason why I'm saying this really early is that the closer I get to it, the worse I'm probably going to be to talk about it, so I'll kind of do it now, but, you know, as you know, and we'll get into, like, you know, less, like, depressing topics to talk about, but I just want to get this out of the way. November 26th would have been my dad's birthday. He is no longer with us, which is unfortunate, but since it's on a Sunday, and I know he would have wanted me to do a weekend review, I thought we'll probably dedicate that Sunday just to, like, a memoriam. Okay, so yeah, I said I have to say it now, because if I don't say it now, it's going to kill me inside. That's probably what... God. That's probably what we're going to do for that date. So I'm going to probably... I will probably do a community post maybe next week or so. You know, I'll see when, but I'm going to try to see on whatever we have left over of the memory cards and see whatever footage we have still left over that I had recordings with him. Yeah, just apologies. I just need like a second. Yeah, this really hits a lot. Oh, okay. I'm alright. I'm alright. Okay. Anyways, other updates I have to go through. Yeah, you gotta give me a second to get back on the chair for the other stuff. Okay, what else do I have written on the thing? Okay, future plans. Okay, let's try to change the topic. I've been working on Bay history. The Bay history is actually going really, really well. I don't know when it's going to be out, so I don't really know for sure. Right now, I'm working a lot on the visual effects, because if you notice from each Bay history, I want each one to be kind of better than the last. And obviously, when you're going over the bays and everything, there's only so much you can do, right? There's only so many angles I can show you of a fusion wheel, right? So a big focus is actually kind of the start and kind of the transition through each of the bays. So that's really what I'm working on. Because to record and just to edit the actual segments of each of the bays, that doesn't really take too long of work, but I'm really taking my time on this because I really, really want each of them to be good, because it was something he appreciated a lot, and it's something I want to be consistent on. So right now, I'm doing pretty decent. I would say I'm hoping to at least get the shots done by this week, at least the VFX stuff, because VFX takes a lot of time. To give you a little bit of context, if you want to know a lot about visual effects, it's basically where you're cramped in a corner in a desk and you're staring at a computer waiting for stuff to render out. So that's basically what I'm doing for a lot of that Bay history stuff. It's just, I really want it to be good. Like, that's why I'm very much almost like a perfectionist for a lot of the work that I do. So that's why, like, a lot of times these videos almost get delays. But right now, also, like, listen, I also got, like, studies, right? So I also have to prioritize my education. Obviously, that's what he always taught me. Always the education, then after the channel. So I will do my best. I will do my best. But I'm hoping at least I'm going to hope before second week of November. So I will give you, by the November 6 to 10, that's your guaranteed. Because I would have had so much time to work on it that it's ridiculous. And unless I have a lot of assignments work, then there'll be that delay. But I will do my best. I still want to try to keep that end of the year too for that other one. But just to kind of give some updates. I would actually have a preview right now, but this is actually one of the few things I actually want to keep a surprise. But aside from that, well, actually, okay, this is actually a good one. See, this is actually a good one. I'm in a better mood talking about other stuff now. There will be a Halloween episode. Sorry, that sounds weird with no... There will be a Halloween video on the 31st. I do have a little bit of a funny one planned, so... Listen, all I'm going to say is that... I don't know if I can give a hint. The Green Hell Scythe is your only hint. Which, I've joked a lot about that Green Hell Scythe, so... If you know, you know. But, yeah, aside from that, for the channel stuff, that's pretty much what you should be expecting. Because, listen, but when we're going to get to next week, it's going to get really, really nuts. I also should be doing the disclaimer, like, probably even now, because I know... Because coming off of the next Sunday, which is the 29th, that's the weekend of where the release happens. I also want to keep on addressing this, but I will throw this on the Mall of Base thing, because I also forgot to talk about the tournament thing, but... And then we'll try to read some of the chat thing. But, yeah, for Mall of Bays, right, even though it's going to be coming on whatever specific dates, we're gonna try to do our best to get it out as soon as possible. Again, I have to give this context to a lot of people that are wondering if you use our store, that basically what the issue is that since he's no longer with us, to make these trips to the US, to send from the US, is not as simple as just doing it, because I obviously have specific days and times that I have to work, and I can't just be doing that. So you will have to forgive me, and I will still try to do my best. And again, you don't have to, this is not like a guilt trip or anything. If you don't want to support the store or whatever, that's fine. If you like and comment, I take that support the exact same way, because that's what keeps the channel going. So the next thing I need to do, because unfortunately, I did not have this graphic with me as I was doing it. It's actually, there's a tournament next Saturday that I will be hosting. Where is that godforsaken graphic? Okay, here it is. And plus, I got to at least talk about that thing. We got a tournament that's, if you were in Canada, which is not really too specific, if you were in the general area, here you go. Nightmare Before the King of Beasts. We have it here. It's on a little bit of a weird time on that little Saturday there, but it's going to be pretty cool. We have pretty good prizes, so if you're in Canada and you're near my area and you want to sign up, check it out. There's a little bit of admission there, but it's because it's a paid venue, so please check it out if you are able to. But yeah, aside from that, I at least got to enjoy the only thing that's been, I don't know, after all the intensive work I've had to do for these past few weeks, because obviously I have a lot of work of IRL stuff to balance up between everything, I at least got to enjoy the SpiderMan game, the Spider-Man 2 game. That's like the only thing I was looking forward to that I was excited. I can give a little bit of a story. My dad actually took me to Fan Expo when the first one had the demo there. So, I don't know, it felt very nice just to play this. And I'm enjoying, there is some good stuff. There is some good stuff there, but yeah, also, I think I might have missed this and I'll apologize. Does he do it? Oh, it does it there. Look at that. It's animated. I don't even know how he did it. Look at that. Thank you, Andy, for the support. Yeah, but aside from that, I'm trying to think if there's anything else really. Nah, man. In terms of the channel stuff, everything's pretty much going fine. I'm still going to keep the same uploads, still keep on doing daily. I've somehow managed, I'm going to give myself credit here, I have somehow managed to still keep on doing daily. The times maybe aren't all too perfect, but yeah. Also, something good to leave off on. I do have to confirm with my source, but next week we might have an update that I can't talk about for what's the change in January. So, if you remember, I think it was two ago or 3 ago, I basically said December there shouldn't be an entry starter, and you will find out the updated info for January next week that I will talk about. And someone can remind me just in case I don't talk about it, but it will kind of make sense in that context. And also, I will just say, just in case, because obviously, with everything months ahead, things can shift around. So if it ends up being 100%, then for the store, there will be compensation if you ordered for the entry starter, right? So, yeah, obviously, right. Because listen, when we set up these things, and when me and my dad set up these things ahead of time, when we did it last time in August, basically, anything can happen, right? Anything can happen. They can decide to move a release. They can decide to have a different release for that month. So things change. I think your example is World Spriggan or Infinite Achilles back in like Sparking, right? Or maybe things get shifted around. So yeah, there is a now. I also have to preface it by saying this. There may be a lot of things that I know for Beyblade X, but there are also certain things I can and cannot say. And listen, I have to be careful of certain things, when I can say it and when I can't say it, so that's pretty much it. But we've always been 100%. Our source is 2,000% accurate. They have never made a mistake. They have made confusion one time at the launch of Beyblade X because they were confused on a product render. But every single time, they have been on point. We literally broke the news of Beyblade X before Beyblade X. So, yeah. That's kind of it. In terms of this week, I'm going to plan to get a lot of these VFX shots done. Just a little bit more experimental content. But, one thing I want to leave off with, because I did write this on this piece of paper. Beyblade Burst. So, the thing is with Beyblade Burst is that it's a shit show for Hasbro, because my dad assumed Hasbro was supposed to release like the Quad Creature set by August. We're in October. No, we're almost in November, and it's still not out. I don't even know if they're gonna release that set, right? But I'm still waiting on that Burst content just to be done with Burst for good. It's like this little thing. I honestly think they got to be shadow releasing at this point, because they're going to be transitioning to the next gen. I think probably by December, most of this Beyblade Burst stuff is going to be almost completely gone off the shelf. They're going to probably do some sale to get rid of it, and that's it. But on also the topic of Beyblade Burst, so far for the videos I have done, and we'll kind of leave off with this, so far the videos that I have done kind of like, I don't even know what you would call it, kind of like mini history info videos, like every single fusion in Beyblade Burst, every single this or that in Beyblade Burst. So that's a type of content I don't mind doing because that's something kind of fresh. But is there any other videos you want to see me cover with Beyblade Burst at all? Because we're in this weird transition period, and I don't want to neglect a generation that really helped build our channel. So if there's anything, you know, you don't have to comment it now, but if you have an idea after the stream, feel free to comment it. It's just something I was always kind of thinking about. There is the 3D print stuff, which if you want to see, I can still keep on doing it. I love showcasing Crazy Aris's work. Crazy Aris does fantastic work. So any opportunity I get to print, I would absolutely love it. But yeah, I just wanted to mention that because it's such a we're at a really weird point where Beyblade Burst for Takara has been dead since February. Yeah, the V2 remake set. And Burst still kind of went on with the Hasbro stuff, but now it's almost completely done. So basically have it where kind of like anyone who grew up with Burst might be leaving Burst, but also there might be new people getting into X, and it's always like this weird gap in between generations. It's always such a weird gap. Note to face, Hasbro is pure pathetic. What bays did the Quad Creatures set have? Just random combos. I think we basically almost reviewed it, I guess. But yeah, I just wanted to throw that out there in case anyone thought of anything at all. If there's anything to cover. Because, I mean, you know, like, what else was I going to say? Because, I can do X versus Burst, right? Or X versus Metal Fight, you know what I mean? But you know, that's always an option. But I'm more than just thinking like pure content. Pure content. That's what I'm trying to think of. But, I don't know. We'll go to a few chat stuff, whatever, and then after we'll slowly wrap up. Here you go. How do you think they're going to handle heavier blades as far as them toppling over and die later down the line? So, like, the idea if, let's say, they go, like, 38, 40... Listen, I'm going to just tell you right now, this generation cannot be built on weight creep because if functionally cannot work. I think everything should just stay between 30 to 40. And even 40's kind of pushing it, but Cobalt Drake was already so high. What I think they should do, and I think shout out Cake to this idea, Cake from the WBO, I think for defense types, they should make it weight creep where it's a little bit higher end, so it makes a little bit more sense, and they should just try to focus on that. Or like, I don't know, man. It's either all the blades stay the exact same range, and maybe you don't even have any real changes to the customization for the blades, which I think would be honestly fine. And maybe just the bottom changes, like, I don't know. That's like that's a Zencast discussion topic. How do they do the next, like, system season? How do they update the bays? So, that gets very difficult. Should I use the X-Stadium for cross-gen battles or a normal stadium? I just do it in the X Stadium so they have more of a fair chance, because X-Bays in a normal stadium can't really work. Like, literally. 3D prints, yeah, I will consider. Yeah, that's also true. The whole thing with Hasbro, a lot of missing releases. Also, to answer this one, you will find out next week. That's your bait for next week, because we're not going to get any new... Well, actually... Oh, wait. No. Sorry. The week after that, I paused for a second, because I'm considering the Monday after. No. Yeah, by the 29th, there's no new news except for that update I'm going to give. The actual news update's going to be coming on the Thursday the 2nd because of the teaser for December, which praying December is, by the way, going to be early. Please, Takira Tomy. For X, I bet there'll be 1 left, 2 or 3 dual spin bays, potentially. Okay, I will throw in any 2 more comments or anything, and then we'll try to wrap up. Is Cobalt Drake banned when you ask for combo recommendations? You talking about the challenge stuff? Yes. I don't know. You really want me to get my... Okay. I'll go grab it. Listen, it's not gonna break, but also, okay, I will show you my Cobalt Drake. Listen, it's not a pretty bay. It's not a... I'm not worried for it, but I'm also, like, conserved on how I want to use it. If that makes sense. Like, okay, where are you? Okay, you're gonna basically see right... Oh, I have to do this thing where it's zoomed in. Alright, well, I'm using Doctor Strange's portal right here. You can kind of see... You know, it is kind of torn and kind of slapped around. And plus, the inner part... Actually, no, you can even see it. There's just like a little bit of stress. It's not like anything game-breaking, so no, this is not... Beyblade X has a big problem, but... You know, I kind of just want to say that if it's like anime stuff or anime-related videos... For now... Like, if DRANDAGGER faces Cobalt Drake, I will do a full battle on it. And if I have to try to win another Drake, that's not something I want to do, but I'll try. But, yeah. I'm also hoping to God they just release another Drake. Please. Please. I don't want to wait long for another Drake. I'm too afraid to use it. Oh, how do you feel about the hologram thing for the avatars? How the manga does it, I think, looks really, really cool. Because in the context... Okay, so to give you some context, and this got to be, I think, the last one to off with. I don't think there's anything else. Okay, so in Beyblade X, essentially what happens is they're in a stadium where it's like 4 times everything, all these attributes. And it basically creates a digital representation of, like, the power of that Beyblade. So it's almost like it's AR tech. So in a way, it kind of gets a little bit weird because it's like... So does the spirit technically... Actually, you want to know what? I might have a reading problem. I might just read the manga right now just to double check. But it's like a manifestation basically of like the spirit thing. Which I thought was a pretty cool idea. The idea that you basically have it where it's not like this overcomplicated... Like Beyblade Quad Strike had like this elemental crap. And there's resonance, there's flare. Too complicated for all that stuff. Here it's just like... It's just simple. It's AR. It's literally just AR. Yeah, what do they say? The 4x X Bay Battle. So what is this? Speed, rotation, power, and design. These are the 4x aspects that read in the system. And together, they're instantly materialized in Bay Battle. So in other words, the giant snake is the strength of Viper Tail's 4x traits. Yeah, so it's kind of like this weird visual representation. I like that a lot. Where I'm going to a little bit complain is the anime, because... Okay, I'm just going to say it like this. The way that the creature is summoned out of the base in the anime, I do not like, and we've basically seen it, a Ryu sequence in the opening, and that one, I think that was with Chrome Ryugo. Like, they're basically just doing the same kind of, like, camera shot for the sequence. I wish... You know what I wish it was? I wish what they could have done, and obviously maybe this is asking for too much because, you know, the anime should have been delayed, but my idea, and this is a really cool idea, so if anyone's like an animator and you want to try to do this, it's a pretty complicated idea, but this could be reused for bank constantly, and it would be like a new sequence where when the bay is going to get digitalized, maybe it'll have like a little bit of like digital aura kind of come around it, kind of like these weird little glitch effect. The bits, kind of like the sticker thing, will pop out kind of like Metal Fight, but then it'll digitally kind of like morph into the actual creature. So that's a little bit different, because Metal Fight, it's just it comes out of the bay, Bakuten Shoot, it comes out of the bay, Burst, it also comes out of the bay, but it also comes out of the bay with like this weird kind of aura weird thing. So that would be like a really cool thing to do, but that's a little too creative of an idea. Notice we only got one pure attack type so far. Okay, so I think pretty much we reached the pinnacle here. I'm just gonna see if I missed out on anything on the chat. Yeah, I think that's about it. Okay, so you will probably see me do a community tab post next week for the thing for November. Probably just asking if anyone wants to do any edits for any commentary moments that we kind of had, or highlights, if you have any memories of them. Just something nice. I thought it'd be nice just to do for that day. So yeah, that's about it. So I gotta get set up for the explosion of the thing. Thank you to everyone who showed up, and apologies for the delay. I'll try to do better for the next one. And hopefully I'm a little bit more stable to talk about some of these things. So take care. That'll be it for now. See you next week. Hopefully, if I'm not tired from the tournament from Saturday. And have an amazing day. Bye.